Hey everyone, this is my top 10 movies of 2022. A lot of great movies this year, which made my top 10 list very difficult to narrow down. So before I start, here's a list of some honorable mentions. The Whale, The Fabelmans, The Menu, The Bob's Burgers Movie, Smile, Terrifier 2, The Bad Guys, Father Stu, Pearl, Violent Night, The Adam Project, 13 Lives, Barbarian, and Del Toro's Pinocchio. Starting off my list at number 10 is Bullet Train. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see this one in theaters, but I was able to watch it right before New Year's. I had heard good things about it, but going in I wasn't sure what to expect. By the end, I loved this movie. It was a blast. The action was great, the comedy was great, I loved Tangerine and Lemon, the cameos were fun, and I'll never look at Thomas the Tank Engine the same way again. Number 9 on my list is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This film almost didn't make it on my list, but I luckily got to see it in theaters yesterday. I think Shrek 2 is the best film DreamWorks has ever made, and honestly this might be their best movie since. The first Puss in Boots movie, it was fine, it was funny, and I remember them announcing this movie like a decade ago, and it kept getting pushed back and I was worried, but once I saw that first trailer I was sold immediately, and I was hoping it would be good, but I didn't expect it to be this good. Hands down the best animated film of the year, and one of the best in the last decade. Besides the amazing visuals, the music's great, all the actors are great, Jack Horner is fantastic, and the wolf, without giving any spoilers, is one of my all-time favorite villains in an animated film, period. Number 8 on my list is X, another great horror movie this year. I don't think I've ever seen any other films done by this director, and this was another one based on the trailer that it could have gone either way for me. I'm a fan of most A24 movies, and this one looked interesting enough, and again, I came out of the theater loving it. I expected a lot of gore, but what I didn't expect was how funny the film was and also emotional. I think one of the saddest scenes in any movie I saw this year was the little musical number in the middle of the film. Next up at number 7 is Elvis. I've always been a huge fan of Elvis, and there were a lot of things in this movie I never knew about. I'm also a fan of this director. I really like the Great Gatsby film he made years ago with Leo and Toby. I think Austin Butler as Elvis was great, his voice was perfect, the look, the costumes, all of it was great. It was a fun, non-stop movie that flew by. Number 6 is The Black Phone. This movie holds a special place in my heart, especially if you went to Horror Nights this year. But besides that, I love Ethan Hawke as the grabber, all of the kids are great in the film, the style is awesome. I'm a fan of the director Scott Derrickson, who did Sinister, which I think is one of the scariest movies from the last 20 years, up there with Hereditary. I also enjoy the short story it's based off by Joe Hill, but I think the film's a major improvement. Now, starting off the top 5 is The Northman. I was really excited for this movie. This is another director I'm a big fan of. I really like The Witch and I love The Lighthouse. All the actors in this cast were great. The dialogue, the visuals, the costumes, everything was spot on. It was intense, and by the end, it makes you wonder if the protagonist of our story is really the hero or not. Everyone in this epic film is their own hero in the story, but they've all done terrible things. Number 4 is Jordan Peele's Nope. Peele is another director I've been a fan of ever since his first film, and each movie he makes I enjoy more and more. So far, this one's my favorite. This is another film where the cast was great, all the characters were interesting, the location and the visuals all stand out, even for being such a bare, open landscape. And the film has some of the creepiest moments I've seen in a movie this year. Next up at number 3 is The Batman. Now, if you didn't know, I'm a huge Batman fan. I've seen all the movies, live action, animated, played the games, everything. Of all the live action movies so far, this film nails Gotham. I think it has the best looking city, the best cinematography easily, some of if not the best music, the casting is almost perfect. I still say that Ben Affleck is my overall favorite Batman, Bruce Wayne, everything. And he's got the best suit. Pattinson's suit is great, he's very intimidating. We don't get too much of his Bruce Wayne, but I don't care for the direction they took it. But the voice is good, the action's good, him and Catwoman are great, Penguin is awesome, Falcone is fantastic. Riddler overall is good, but I didn't love the way he was done towards the end. But overall, with all the nitpicking, I still love this movie. I saw it twice in IMAX, it was great, and I've watched it several times since it's come out. I'm very eager to see where they take this series next. Second place on my list is Everything Everywhere All at Once. This was another one of those movies where I saw the trailers and I wasn't really sure about it, but again, it was another one of those movies where everybody loved it, and so I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot, and it blew me away. I wish I'd seen it more than once in theaters. The action and stunts were great, the visuals were cool. 1 second you're laughing, the next second you're crying. It was a very unique, original movie, and I loved it. And of course, number one on my list is Top Gun Maverick. What can I say that nobody else has said about this movie already? I think this film is perfect. The story is nice and simple, but that's all it needs to be. The characters are great, the drama, the action is all fantastic, the stunts, the cinematography, the music, everything about it. I saw this 3 times in IMAX and I would have seen it again if I had a chance. I've never had such a clear winner for Movie of the Year before. This movie blows every other film away, and there were a lot of good movies this year. In the end, it was just a fun time. And there's a reason it was number 1 in the box office for months. So that's my top 10 films of 2022. Let me know what you think and tell me your top 10 in the comments below.